$15,600 from yesterday. You wind up at $27,400. David Maybury, you were in second place with $14,800. What did he write down? What is Ceres with a smiley face? And he's right to smile. The Roman name of Demeter is the name of that asteroid.
Every Tuesday, we'll showcase the top local entertainment, events, and happenings taking place across the South Central Kentucky region.
Soki's Choice, brought to you by J.C. Kirby & Son.
When you get Hughes & Coleman, it can make a big difference. Insurance offer, $300,000. Our result, $1 million. Call 800-800-4600.
You think life is short? Football is short. So cherish every over and under before it's over on FanDuel.
Bet $5, get $150 bonus if your team wins, plus a profit boost every single day. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
Hello, I'm Phil Sanders, and I'm the speaker on In Search of the Lord's Way. I'm here each week with a Bible-based message relevant to these troubling times. We're here through the generous support of several churches of Christ in this area, and they'd love to have you visit them and attend their Bible classes and worship assemblies. Please, won't you join us this week?
Join Phil Sanders in Search of the Lord's Way.
New emergency crystals pop and fizz when you throw them back. And who doesn't love a good throwback? Emergency crystals.
WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
I'm Morgan Hoover. Join us weeknights for WNKY News 40 at 5. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight for News 40 at 5. I'm Morgan Hoover.
And I'm Chris Allen. Welcome to Finally Friday.
Yes, it's finally Friday, and it feels pretty nice out there, too.
It feels really good, and we've got a southerly breeze, as promised, that's bringing those temperatures up today into the 60s, so it feels great. And on the 4-hour clouds and radar, only some of those high clouds showing up, but of course, nothing that's going to bring us any kind of precipitation. You can see some of those high clouds from our community cams, I-65 near Cave City, showing 62 degrees with those high clouds in the distance there. And then the Mesonet camera in Christian County near Hopkinsville with a temperature of 62, and you can see the high clouds coming in from the west, but they're not going to bring us any rain. Tonight, partly cloudy, milder with a low around 40. I'll have the rest of your weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Morgan?
All right, Chris. Early voting has already begun for the Kentucky general election. Candidates are making their final push to voters ahead of Election Day next Tuesday. Governor Andy Beshear made a campaign stop at Western Kentucky University this morning. Beshear was accompanied by Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman, Attorney General nominee Pamela Stevenson, and former Representative Patty Minter. Beshear told students how important it is to vote on Tuesday and exercise their right. He also spoke about the negativity he says he's seen in his opponent, Daniel Cameron's campaign.
What we've seen from my opponent is the most negative campaign, certainly that I've ever witnessed. I've tried to talk about our record-setting economy, what we have done for public education, what we're doing for infrastructure right now, the types of jobs we brought right here to Bowling Green.
Beshear also says he will make another stop in Bowling Green on Saturday to knock on doors and rally support before Tuesday's election. Meanwhile, his opponent, Attorney General Daniel Cameron, continued his campaigning today, making stops in Shelbyville, Richmond, and Danville. The Donald Trump-endorsed candidate is continuing his fight for Kentucky bus tour this week. He says, according to some polls, the race is closer than some may think.
This is an exciting time. Of course, there was just a poll released this morning that showed that it's a dead heat between me and Andy Beshear, 47 to 47. Our campaign is surging. Our movement is surging. We're going to have a new governor on November 7th here in Kentucky.
This is one of the most competitive and closely watched races on the ballot this year. Kentucky has only had two Republican governors in the last 50 years, but the state has become increasingly conservative, voting Republican in 9 of the last 11 presidential elections. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is casting his ballot today at Living Hope Baptist Church here in Bowling Green. Paul, who was with his wife Kelly, spoke about the turnout for early voting and the ways that the open polling locations make it easier to vote in person.
What a beautiful day, and I like the early voting. I think it makes it convenient for a lot of people who are working to come during their lunch hour, come on a day when they can take time off. Or like Kelly was saying, when my father-in-law comes out, he's 92. We like a nice warm day like this, and if it's snowing or something on Tuesday, we don't have to come out in the snow.
The senator also answered questions about the economic policies of incumbent Democratic Governor Andy Beshear that he says are hurting the working class in Kentucky.
The people who get hurt worst by rising prices are people of modest means. Working class citizens, lower middle class, retired citizens, they're all being hurt by this inflation, and it could get a lot worse. And really what you have to do is you have to start balancing your budget. You have to be more frugal with your money. And I think Beshear's support for Joe Biden's policies just isn't going to be really popular in Kentucky.
For more election coverage, stay tuned to WNKY News 40 or visit our website. That's WNKY.com. And while preparing to cast your ballot, Secretary of State Michael Adams wants to remind you about your voting rights. A voter's Bill of Rights has been issued as voting has begun in the 2023 general election. Adams asks voters to report any voter intimidation or illegal activity they may see at the polls. In addition to this, voters' responsibilities have also been clearly laid out for Kentuckians. Well, continuing coverage tonight, we now know that both men trapped after a building collapsed in Martin County have now been confirmed dead. The men are identified as Billy Ray Daniels and Alvin Neese. Officials have said that Daniels died amid rescue efforts at the scene. The men from neighboring Pike County were doing contracting work as part of the building's demolition. Crews are continuing to remove layers of rubble and debris at the Martin Mine Prep plant, where the 11-story abandoned building crashed down on Tuesday night. And a couple of crime alerts now. One man is behind bars. Police are still searching for a second man after a shooting on Magnolia Street in Bowling Green last night. Bowling Green police say they got a call around 9:30 Thursday night that someone had been shot. When they arrived to the scene, officers found Caden Jeffries shot in the foot. Jeffries was taken to the hospital for treatment. During their investigation, BGPD say they found at least 40 bullet casings on the property, indicating multiple weapons had been fired. BGPD later arrested 18-year-old Karen Wilson in connection to the shooting. Wilson is currently in the Warren County Jail facing several charges, including attempted murder and first-degree assault. Tonight, police are still searching for 19-year-old Zion Johnson of Bowling Green. If you have any information about his whereabouts, you are asked to call the Bowling Green police. And now to Glasgow, where a man is facing charges after police say he was taking pictures of men in the bathroom at Walmart. Glasgow police say they responded to a call at Walmart Thursday after an employee accused 56-year-old Jason Crum of taking pictures of him over a bathroom stall. Officers say when they approached Crum as he was trying to leave the store, Crum denied taking any photos and willingly showed police his phone. And Glasgow PD asked if there were any images in his deleted photos file. Crum opened the file and officers saw several pictures of men using the bathroom and of male genitals. Crum was taken to the Barron County Detention Center and is charged with video voyeurism. With more local news now, one local author is launching a book to tell the story of her beloved dog, Bandit, while also encouraging others to support the Humane Society. In her new children's book, Bandit the Pound Hound, Nadine Sterner writes the true story of Bandit's life. Sterner says when she adopted Bandit, he was the saddest looking dog at the Humane Society, but he's thriving now. Just take a look at him. To help other dogs like Bandit find their forever home, Sterner is donating 50% of all book sales for as long as they are printed and sold to the Bowling Green Warren County Humane Society.
I'm just grateful to them for all that they do to help animals that really don't have much hope. And I just wanted to, find a different way to give back. They have an abundance of animals, and they're grateful for anything.
A book launch with Sterner and the main character, Bandit, will be at the Bowling Green Warren County Humane Society. That's happening on November 11th from 11 to 1. The book is also available on Amazon, and you can keep up with Bandit on Facebook and TikTok. That's at Bandit the Pound Hound. Although the spooky season has passed, you may be wondering what to do with all those pumpkins. You may think that it's safe to throw them out for wildlife to eat, but one national wildlife naturalist says that may not be the best idea.
This time of year, folks who mean well oftentimes will think, oh, well, let me take all of my old pumpkins, my old jack-o'-lanterns, and dump them in the woods for wildlife. Unfortunately, that's not really a good idea.
Ms. Ajewski says it's typically mammals that will take advantage of your trashed pumpkins.
Everything from potentially deer to sort of mid-sized omnivores like raccoons, maybe opossums, things like that, and rodents too. So squirrels for sure will come and eat on pumpkins, as well as, wild mice species.
He says if it's not good for us to eat, it's not good for them to eat either.
If you have painted your pumpkin, if you have coated your pumpkin in something that will prevent it from rotting, which is becoming more and more popular, obviously those are not good things for wildlife to eat.
Ms. Ajewski says it's important to protect natural and wildlife areas to keep the ecosystem clean and healthy.
If you're looking for something to do with those pumpkins, what I would recommend is chop them up and add them to your compost pile.
He says you could also get rid of your pumpkins by donating them to local farms, animal facilities, or zoos.
Enrichment is something that accredited zoos do with their animals, and it's just giving them interesting things in their environment so that they have something to keep them mentally stimulated and physically stimulated.
Ms. Ajewski says if you do choose to donate, make sure there are no toxins on the pumpkins.
Well, still to come on News 40 at 5. As we set our clocks back this weekend, how will the change affect those with dementia? We'll explain in just a bit, but first, Weather Chief Chris Allen is back after the break with a full look at our forecast. That's coming up next.
WNKY News 40, broadcasting live from the German American Bank studio in downtown Bowling Green.
Home is more than a house. Wherever you are in your journey of homeownership, German American Bank is here to support you. Our team of dedicated mortgage loan professionals can help you with lending solutions featuring low or no down payment, assistance for closing costs and improvement projects, or even loans specifically for first-time home buyers. We're here to tell you, homeownership is achievable. German American Bank, member FDIC.
Injured? Morgan & Morgan is a dominant force.
Morgan & Morgan is in a league of its own. Need a big play? Morgan & Morgan has your back. Just call Morgan & Morgan & Morgan
or visit forthepeople.com.
Summer skies, they warm up everything. Then fall comes around, and you know it's getting near. Christmas, my favorite time.
Experience so much Christmas the way Santa does.
My opponent's campaign is built on attacks and lies. But you know me, and you know it isn't true. We've been through a lot together, and now we're building the Commonwealth we've always dreamed of. We're a leader in economic growth, tens of thousands of new jobs, our lowest unemployment rate ever, delivering on major infrastructure projects and bringing high-speed internet everywhere. We're building a bright future here for all of our families.
At Infinity Pipeline, your family is our family. Our employees are the foundation of what we do. And what matters to you matters to us. We're now hiring the next generation of skilled workers to help grow our community. Apply now. InfinityPipeInc.com.
We're We're back with Weather Chief Chris Allen. Chris, we started on another cold note today, but really not as bad as yesterday.
Not quite as cold. I'm going to show you the numbers here in a second, but we're going to steadily warm up each day, and the nights won't be quite as frosty as they have been lately. And we're going to continue to warm up. Here are the numbers from this morning. It was mostly 30s and even a few 40s. There were a few 20s in there too. And all of this had to do with elevation. So that's why you can go from 26 in Morgantown to 36 down in Russellville, and then the usual suspect 19 in Burkesville. But then up the road in Edmonton, it was 40 for an overnight low. So how can that be? It's just high pressure, a clean and clear atmosphere, and the different elevation of all of these mesonet stations, just where they're planted and where they're posted, has a lot to do with the temperature. But once the sun comes up, everything evens out. And today, most everybody ended up in the low to mid 60s. And right now, we're still there. 63 here in Bowling Green. You've got low to mid 60s pretty much everywhere across south central Kentucky at this hour. And it's been a nice day as we go from the mesonet camera in Monroe County near Tompkinsville. 63 right now with a south wind at 9. It's been as high as 15 to 20 this afternoon. Humidity again very low at 23%. The barometer is on the rise. Well, the next few days are going to be fairly quiet. High pressure still dominating our forecast. Southerly winds coming in, but ahead of this system to the north of us, there's not a lot going on. There are some showers in the southern Great Lakes, a few scattered clouds here and there as the front approaches. This is going to come through on Saturday afternoon. It may produce a few clouds, but it's not going to produce any shower activity because this high pressure is going to keep everything dry for us. Even along the frontal boundary, it's going to be fairly dry until you get around the area of low pressure over the Great Lakes, and that's where they'll see a little bit of rain. For us, another big dome of high pressure takes over for Sunday into early Monday before we see the next chance of rain, which will come in for Monday night. Tonight, around 40 for an overnight low with a partly cloudy sky and a south wind at 6. And then your 7-day forecast here showing a pretty good weekend, upper 60s to low 70s. A few showers Tuesday on Election Day, but not enough to keep you away from the polls. And then we see a big cool down coming on Friday of next week. And don't forget, this is the weekend that we fall back 1 hour as daylight saving time comes to a close. And here's what's coming up tonight on NBC 40.
Join the WNKY News 40 weather team. Visit WNKY.com to become a weather watcher.
What would Daniel Cameron's Medicaid plan mean for my patients?
He's threatening to take away health care coverage from over 95,000 Kentuckians.
It's very scary that people are not going to have health coverage.
People will not be able to see their doctors. People will not be able to buy medicines.
Many rural hospitals will end up closing their doors.
Cameron is still following his pal, Matt Bevin.
I don't know why you do that.
I don't think Daniel Cameron understands what Kentuckians are going through.
And that is not acceptable for a governor.
Looking to shop for a cause or to donate to a local nonprofit store? Visit the Habitat Restore of Bowling Green, located at the corner of 8th and Center across from the Bowling Green Ballpark. Call or visit our website today to learn more.
Celebrate the winning season all November long at the Mint Gaming Hall at Bowling Green, featuring an elevated gaming experience with the newest games, sophisticated bars, delicious eats, entertainment, and more. Win up to $2,000 in cash, gift cards, and more in our holiday drawings Wednesday, November 22nd through Saturday the 25th. Drawings at 5, 7, and 9 p.m. Stop in and win this holiday season at the Mint Gaming Hall Bowling Green.
Winning just got closer.
There's nothing quite as cozy and comfortable as a recliner from Ford's, like this power recliner in top grain leather with cup holders, phone charger, and lumbar support for only $8.99, or this leather swivel glider for only $6.99, now at Ford's Furniture.
I have known and worked with Daniel Cameron for a long time. He will never let you down and will support the working men and women of Kentucky, just like I did for 4 great years. Current Governor Andy Beshear endorsed crooked Joe Biden, whose economic policies are crushing your state, and Beshear wants to help him. 4 more years would be a disaster for Kentucky, so Daniel Cameron is my complete and total endorsement.
Club for Growth Action is responsible for the content of this ad.
Don't forget to fall back this weekend. Daylight saving time officially ends on Sunday at 2 a.m. The time change can be challenging for some, especially those who have Alzheimer's disease or dementia. Tonight, how to help symptoms of sundowning as the time changes. It's time to fall back, but the changing time can create confusion called sundowning among those who have dementia or Alzheimer's disease.
They have a lot of damage to their brain, so their brain is not working as well as it used to.
Sundowning symptoms can include difficulty sleeping, anxiety, agitation, hallucinations, pacing, and disorientation, says Dr. Douglas Shar with Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center.
You have less sensory input when the sun goes down. This is what the sundowning term refers to. When the sun goes down, things get darker, there are more shadows. You can't interpret or process as well as you used to.
There are ways caregivers can help, Shar says, to keep a predictable routine. Go to bed, get up, and eat at the same times each day. Next, plan activities during the morning and early afternoon, so they'll be sleepy at night. Limit daytime napping, caffeine, and sugar. Turn on a nightlight to help reduce agitation that may happen when it's dark. And make sure hearing aids and glasses are close by to avoid additional sensory deprivation. If sleep isn't coming easy, talk to a doctor about ways to help get those Z's, like the use of melatonin.
If the caregiver is not getting good rest because the patient's up all night, then subsequently the patient may not be getting the best care, from a sleep-deprived caregiver.
The Alzheimer's Association says it's also important that a person living with dementia get plenty of rest and to spend time outside in the sunlight during the day if possible. The organization says caregivers can also write down what happens before a sundowning event so that triggers can be avoided. Well, still to come on News 40 at 5, though the UAW has reached a tentative deal with automakers. That does not mean that the strike has ended just yet. What that could mean for you and your auto needs. Right after this.
This is my dad, Audie, and he is absolutely precious.
When it came to making some life-changing decisions for my mother, we found the folks here at Massey Springs to be so helpful.
They had that personal touch that we were looking for, and we could tell it was the perfect place for our mom.
We found the folks here at Massey Springs compassionate and caring.
Massey Springs was definitely the right choice for me and my dad.
Massey Springs Senior Living. Here, we're family. Schedule your tour with us today.
For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Today, Morgan & Morgan has more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Call Morgan & Morgan for the people.
Name a food you might make edible underwear out of.
Salmon.
Teriyaki.
Sharing the fun. Weeknights at 5 and 6:30 on CBS 40.
Just rockin' and rollin', baby.
Come back tomorrow.
We got you all fixed up. Got it all fixed up for you, man.
Let there be light, ma'am.
Looks like she finally called JB.
Jumpstart your holiday shopping this weekend at the Fruit of the Loom Brand Shop Outlet's Anniversary Celebration. Find 25% off savings throughout the store on tees, cozy fleece, socks, and underwear. All 25% off through Sunday at the Brand Shop Outlet.
Daniel Cameron says it's
one of the first things I will do as governor.
Bringing back former Governor Matt Bevin's ruthless Medicaid plan, threatening to take away coverage from over 95,000 Kentuckians, punishing working parents, putting rural hospitals in danger of shutting down.
This sounds very similar to something that Governor Matt Bevin tried.
Well, absolutely.
Denying people coverage, devastating rural health care.
Something that Governor Matt Bevin tried.
Well, absolutely.
Cameron's absolutely wrong for Kentucky.
United Auto Workers Union strike against Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis could end soon. Tentative deals are on the table right now, but body shops and mechanics are still taking a hit. Cece Gaines has more.
The historic United Auto Workers Union strike against Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis could be over soon. Tentative deals are on the table right now, but local body shops are still taking a hit.
Good morning, Minnetonka Collision.
Minnetonka Collision Center owner Joe Ebenho says when they order parts for customers, the dealers say they don't have them.
If they could find a part, they're buying from other dealers around the United States.
That process takes a minimum of 5 to 7 days.
I spend most of my time sourcing parts.
New parts and used parts.
Dealerships and salvage yards are charging just as much for used parts for a new part. We've been paying a lot more for parts.
Note, too, that if your car needs to get fixed and parts are ordered, they may not trickle in all at once, which leads to this.
So right now, I got a little over $100,000 just in parts inventory.
So what can you do if your car needs repairs right now?
If your car is drivable, come in and get an estimate. We'll get it locked down. We'll pre-order the parts. As long as the car's drivable, we'll pre-order the parts. If the car's not drivable, try to, source the parts because those people are stuck.
Remember in the beginning when I mentioned those deals with the 3 automakers were tentative? That's because the historic strike doesn't officially end until deals are ratified. And it's possible that members at one or more companies could vote down the tentative deals.
The strike went on longer. I would think that in about another 30 days, it would be tough to get any kind of more automotive body part, period.
Well, Bank of America is alerting customers today that some deposits may be temporarily delayed. It's due to a problem impacting multiple banks. The company assured customers their accounts are secure and balances will be updated as soon as deposits are received. The bank said no action is needed from customers, but customers at BOA, Chase, U.S. Bank, Truist, and Wells Fargo complained of issues this morning. According to one industry source, the issue appears to be related to a network for processing transactions. And we now turn to one of the biggest cases of financial fraud in U.S. history. Former cryptocurrency mogul Sam Bankman-Fried found guilty of stealing billions from investors. NBC's senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett has the details.
This morning, Sam Bankman-Fried, once the face of cryptocurrency success, now convicted of stealing billions of dollars.
The cryptocurrency industry might be new, but this kind of fraud, this kind of corruption is as old as time.
A federal jury in Manhattan taking little time to find Bankman-Fried guilty of all 7 counts, including wire fraud, conspiracy, and money laundering. The 31-year-old founded FTX in 2019, quickly turning it into one of the largest exchanges of digital currency in the world, courting celebrity endorsers, including stars like Tom Brady.
What's up, guys? I'm here with my boy Sam from FTX.
But his crypto empire, once valued at $32 billion, collapsed. A leaked document spooking investors, forcing the company into bankruptcy, with more than 1 million people losing money, some their life savings.
I screwed up. I was CEO. I had a responsibility. That means that I was responsible. We messed up big.
Federal prosecutors saying Bankman-Fried misappropriated billions of dollars using customer funds from FTX to loan money to his crypto hedge fund, Alameda Research, in an effort to hide bad investments, purchase luxury real estate, and pay for a multi-million-dollar ad campaign that aired during the Super Bowl.
It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
I don't think so.
Bankman-Fried pled not guilty, taking the stand in his own defense, but the jury also heard devastating testimony from his 3 top lieutenants who pled guilty and cooperated with prosecutors, including his ex-girlfriend, the former CEO of Alameda. Thursday's ruling marking the end of Bankman-Fried's reign as the king of crypto, as he's now facing the rest of his life behind bars.
It's a warning, this case, to every single fraudster out there who thinks that they're untouchable.
Well, stay with us. We'll have a final look at your forecast coming up right after this.
My opponent's campaign is built on attacks and lies. But you know me, and you know it isn't true. We've been through a lot together, and now we're building the Commonwealth we've always dreamed of. We're a leader in economic growth, tens of thousands of new jobs, our lowest unemployment rate ever, delivering on major infrastructure projects and bringing high-speed internet everywhere. We're building a bright future here for all of our families.
During the COVID pandemic, I fought against Washington's unconstitutional assault on our rights. In Kentucky, Daniel Cameron did the same. When Andy Beshear shut down our places of worship, Cameron led the fight to reopen churches, taking Governor Beshear to court, and Cameron won and ensured that you had the right to worship freely. That's why I'm voting for Daniel Cameron, because no matter the fight, Cameron will safeguard your rights.
Protect Freedom PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hey y'all, it's Bree with the Pie Queen's Pantry. Don't forget to tune in this week. We're gonna start talking about Thanksgiving side dishes and desserts, and this week we're gonna do a savory sweet potato. See you this week on the Pie Queen's Pantry.
Sundays are for football. WNKY 40 is your go-to for the NFL. Watch games all day on WNKY, CBS 40, and NBC 40.
Summer skies, they warm up everything. Then fall comes around, and you know it's getting near. Christmas, my favorite time. Experience so much Christmas the way Santa does.
At Infinity Pipeline, your family is our family. Our employees are the foundation of what we do. And what matters to you matters to us. We're now hiring the next generation of skilled workers to help grow our community. Apply now. InfinityPipeInc.com.
Welcome back. Well, Chris, what can we expect as we get ready to head out to dinner?
Well, we're going to be nice, warmer evening, mild. We'll get down to about 40, and then tomorrow for the rest of your weekend, upper 60s to near 70. But just don't forget that tomorrow night before you turn in to fall back 1 hour, daylight saving time comes to a close.
Yes, hard to believe that it's that time of year.
It's
It
here.
is. Don't be late to anything on Sunday morning. Every year, I forget.
Yes,
All right,
right.
Chris, thank you so much. Thank you at home. We'll see you at 6 o'clock over on